Hello everyone and welcome to this session of preparation of CAT 2021 with WebZone. Today with us we have Mihir who has converted IIM Ahmedabad after scoring 99.99 percentile in CAT last year. So Mihir, welcome and congratulations. It's a huge convert and must be feeling very good to get that coveted 99.99. And especially, let me first tell everyone that Mihir had 99.85 last year. So Mihir actually improved upon his phenomenal score. So that's commendable. And I mean, it's very hard to believe that someone can actually improve from 99.9 to 99.99. So congratulations once again, Mihir, and welcome. So we would love to know, Mihir, that how did you go about your CAT preparation and how did you prepare while working? And also if you have any suggestions and tips for the people who are preparing for CAT 21 this year.
Sure. Thank you so much, sir. First of all, thank you for having me here. And like, it's a great honor for me also to have this call with you. And so, yeah, if you like, my story began in roughly around July or August 2019.
Okay.
That was once when I was interning with a company, and I received a pre-placement offer over there. And so I had my placements, final placements sorted in place, and I was just beginning my final year in college. So I've done my graduation from BITS Pilani
Okay.
and in electrical and electronics. So my final year was just beginning, and that's what I was figuring out what I want to do down the line, whether I want to go for masters or MBA or anything like that. And finally, considering my interests, I decided on that MBA is the correct option for me, and I decided. So then my challenge was to decide whether to go abroad or to go in to do an MBA from India. And after considering various factors, like generally the colleges abroad require you to have a certain amount of work experience if you are going for an MBA program in a top college. And whereas the IIMs are willing to take freshers also as well as people with some work ex. So that was some point which tipped me in the favor of Indian colleges. And also a major factor was ROI and also ease of access. And
Hmm.
so yeah, those were the things I considered.
Fair
And
enough.
then kind of my journey of preparation for CAT began in roughly around mid-August 2019,
Okay.
when I had sort of had a placement backup in hand. And so my preparation actually began as I talked to few of the seniors. One of them was then studying in IIM Calcutta, and one was then studying in IIM Bangalore. So they were 1 year seniors to me in college. So I spoke to them about their preparation strategy. And one thing which was common in both of their answers was that mock tests are very important in your preparation as they prepare you for the D-Day. So that's how I sort of began my preparation. The first thing I did was take a random free mock, which is available online, and then sort of judged what the paper pattern is like, uh, what sort of strengths and weaknesses I have. And I understood that the verbal section was sort of a weakness for me because of lack of reading habits since childhood, or typically it's a common trend which is observed amongst engineers that they are more used to or more comfortable with numbers, so they
Mhm.
fairly do well in DILR and quants, but they are not that good with verbal unless you have a good reading habit since childhood. So that's where I lacked, and verbal was my weak area. So then I enrolled for mock test series from Time and IMS and used to take regular mocks. So from August till November, I took almost three mocks every week. I used to plan like alternate day of mocks and one free day sort of a thing in a week. And like occasionally when I had exams in my college, which as I was in my final year, so though that week I skipped the mocks because I was preparing for the college exams, as your CGPA is also important for your applications.
Absolutely.
So that was the case. So I took about 39 mocks during my first attempt, and so my scores were like they used to be fairly good in quants. They used to fluctuate a bit in DILR, and they were consistently poor in VARC. So what I tried to do, so I had to tackle my VARC issue, and what I figured out through taking a lot of mocks was that My accuracy was fairly okay, but my reading speed was bad. So I had to change my strategy. What the suggestion or the feedback I got from fellow aspirants as well as seniors was that generally what people do is attempt everything in VRC so that at least you get something correct. So that's when I realized that one strategy does not fit everyone, and
Absolutely.
everyone has to figure out their own strategy.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then for me, the strategy became that from that day onwards, I decided that I will leave one RC always. Like generally, there used to be 5 reading comprehensions, and I decided that I'll attempt only 4. It is okay if I leave some 4 or 5 questions as long as I'm focusing on the accuracy on the rest. So even if I struggle to clear the cutoff in the mocks a lot of times, which is the 85 percentile mark in VRC, but I was able to achieve that and scored a 96 percentile in VRC in CAT 2019.
Okay.
And overall, my score was 99.85 with a 98 percentile in DILR and 99.98 in quants. So quants was something which boosted my overall percentile, but my DILR percentile sort of lacked as per my preparation. So I thought that my preparation was good enough for a 99 to 99.5 percentile mark for DILR, but I sort of lacked because of a mistake I did in my CAT 2019 exam. And that mistake was to let my ego come in my way. In DLR, a very important thing is that you let your ego go because there are some sets which are very easy to crack and some which are made to waste your time. So
Absolutely.
I sort of stuck on my first set, which I was trying, and I just sat there. I was trying very hard because in my mind I had made a goal that I have to attempt 6 sets. 6 sets are a very good number of attempts. Like generally, if you solve 4 sets correctly out of 8 sets, when we used to have a 3-hour paper, generally at 4 sets, a 99 percentile score is achieved. So 6 sets with few mistakes, already I was targeting that 99.5 plus score, but that got into my way and I got stuck on my first set itself. And I remember it was 20 minutes down the line, and like so 20 minutes I had taken in my uh, DILR section, and I had not even attempted one question.
Okay.
And
Okay.
that is where I sort of figured out that this is not the right thing to do. I left that set and moved on. I was in the remaining 40 minutes, I was able to attempt 4 sets,
Okay.
so roughly around 16 questions, and I think I got around 15 or correct or something like that. My raw score was 43, but I scored a 98 percentile in my DILR section. So that was the case. And that year I got calls from all top colleges except from IIM Ahmedabad, Bangalore, and Kohinoor.
Okay.
So I had all calls, and then all this pandemic thing happened, and like a lot of people's GDPR preparation was affected because they were struggling with the different things as they were getting accustomed to lockdown. That time during my final semester, I was interning at a place. So even I was accustoming with the work from home situation, figuring out the internet situation at home and everything. And also it was a bit difficult because I had my interviews for Calcutta, Indore, and Lucknow scheduled for March and April first week. They all got postponed without further notice. Like we don't know when the interviews will take place. We don't know whether they'll be online or offline. That sort of situation I was caught in. So that's when I sort of slacked in my interview preparations, which is very important because CAT is just half part of the story. The main deal is the interview preparation. And there I sort of lacked because I didn't know when my interviews are. So I didn't know how much to prepare, for when to prepare. I didn't have any timeline. So then one fine day we got to know that in a week's time we'll have all 3 interviews online from home.
Okay.
So that was around April end, I if I remember correctly. And so I started preparing, but could not prepare much because I had only 1 week, and I prepared what I could, and I had joined Prep Zone for my GDPI preparations. But as I said, like since I had a month's gap, I on a personal level I lacked in my preparation. So amongst the interviews, I gave only 2 interviews, Calcutta and Lucknow, and I got waitlisted in both. I skipped the other interviews because, as I said, it had already gotten delayed and I had lost that motivation to prepare for an interview. So Calcutta and Lucknow, in both of them, I got waitlisted, and I did not get a final convert. I had converts from the baby IIMs, all of them, and FMS Delhi. So FMS Delhi was one of my best converts that year. So then I had to make a decision whether to accept the college, because it is one of the best college and a dream of many. And also FMS has a very good ROI.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that is one of the best things of FMS Delhi. But then I was like thinking, and I talked to some of my well-wishers as to what I should do. So the suggestion or the advice which I got was that I personally considered a few things. First of which was whether I have a good enough job in hand and whether I like the work in my job. So that was something which I had already, that the company was one which I had already worked in my summer internship, and I really liked the company and also the work culture and everything of it. So that was one very big positive which tipped me in the favor of repeating that, because I had a good job in hand and I already knew my manager, I already knew my team, and I had already worked in that company. So that was one thing. The other was like what I thought of very deeply was, is this score which I can repeat? Because sometimes what happens is that your target is say 99.5 percentile, and you have a good day and you score a 99.8 or 99.9. So was that a case with me, that I thought deeply whether this was a lucky day for me and a day for me which was my goal, or something which was a bad day for me and I can score even better. So what I concluded from my introspection was that this was a fairly decent attempt. Like
Hmm?
I thought I did very well as per my potential in VARC, which was 96 percentile, and quant, which was a 99.98 percentile. That was something which I figured that those were the things which I had done to my full potential. But a 98 percentile in DILR was something I felt was not something I did to my fullest potential. I thought my preparation was up to 99 plus score. So that was one thing. So that was the thing which I thought that I can maybe improve on my score. And also the main part was, apart from the thing that I had a job in mind, it was also that the classes were starting online, and a key part about an MBA is the networking and the culture you get on campus. So that was one major part which also tipped me in the favor of repeating. And also that I'm a fresher. I was a fresher then. So what I thought to myself was that the next time I take CAT, my profile only improves from here. My profile can't go worse. So because there are points for work experience and all, and CGP and all is like the same, which I had. But my profile, if I take CAT after 2 years, then my profile will be even better. My shots
Yeah.
of converting will be even better. And during summer interns and placements also, I'll have a better chance. So these were all the points which I considered, and it was a tough decision to leave FMS Delhi. But I eventually thought of
So
repeating CAT.
yeah, Meher, before you get on to your CAT 20 journey, like this was your CAT 19 journey so far, and you said that you had kind of lost motivation for your GDPI, and I also believe it had to do with the situation in the country where COVID had happened and everything was under lockdown. So how did you pull yourself out of that? Because COVID is still continuing and a lot of people are still finding it difficult. So that would be very beneficial to our students to understand how to get out of that.
Yeah, so the main thing which I thought was, obviously we were taking all the precautions and staying indoors. So what I thought was the best thing which I can do, since we are not going out, I thought of making the best use of that time which I had. I had some extra time because before, like as I said, I was interning in that period, and I was traveling 1 hour to and fro. So I was traveling a total of 2 hours in my day for my internship. So I had
Okay.
that time saved. So I had some more time on my hand to work on things like a CAT preparation or any of my extracurricular skills. So that was something which I engaged my time in. I spent a fair bit of time playing some games on my computer or my phone as well. So, but that was a different opportunity for me to catch up with my some old friends. I think something which we all did. And the main thing which I did to sort of distract myself from COVID was engage in activities which were not related to COVID, because like there were people were facing some seriously difficult times in their
Yeah.
lives, and it was a very tough time for a lot of people in the country. So and even we had some tough times, but we tried to stay away from it and distracting it as much as I can. I focused more on my work and my CAT preparation. And I think it is a tough time for people. Like I know some of my friends who are working at that time, and for whom the workload sort of increased because of work from home.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely. Yes, yes.
there were so surely there were some people who found it difficult to make time for their CAT preparation, but there were also some people for whom they found that who used to travel earlier a lot. So for them, the time was saved because of the online situation. So luckily, I was one of those people who for whom the workload didn't increase massively, but the time situation sort of improved. So I could focus more on my CAT 20 preparation once I started, and those were the things. But yeah, to pull up myself from all those situations outside, I tried to distract myself mentally. I tried to pick on some hobbies, like I used to like solving some Sudoku puzzles or something, which or chess. Chess was something I picked up in the lockdown, which I used to play till my third or fourth grade. I used to play in my childhood, but it was something which I picked up to distract myself and also to keep my brain engaged in some activity.
Oh, okay. So that's very, very helpful actually that you were not thinking about the situation. I mean, you were very lucky, I would say, that you were isolated.
Definitely, it was on my back of my mind, but
Mhm.
I was not constructively thinking about the situation. I was taking all the necessary precautions which were there,
Mhm.
staying indoors, not if ever I'm going outside for some groceries or stuff like that, double masking, having a bath after coming home, and things like that. So that way, I was trying to take all health related precautions, but also mentally I was trying to keep away because as you remember from that time, a lot of deaths among celebrities were happening. There was a lot
Yeah.
of negative emotion around which was there. So I was trying to read as little as possible because already it was a very negative situation.
Yes,
And
yes. That's very
even though
important,
it is
Mihir.
good, yes,
Very rightly said that mental health is very important, and mentally
correct,
you need to be prepared for whatever comes, and you need to align yourself to the current situation. And you did very well by not letting
yes,
that affect you, by focusing on the
yes,
positives and keeping yourself engaged. I would not say you
yes,
kept yourself away, but you kept yourself engaged in other activities which helped you to gain focus back on your CAT preparation. And like
correct,
you said that you had a job in hand, so that was your backup plan, I would say. So that
yes,
would have eased some mental pressure off you, that you could prepare
definitely,
off for that. Definitely.
definitely, definitely,
So now then, once that everything went online, so before you would have had classes, you would have given mocks by going in centers and all. But then everything came online and CAT 20 became completely different, the preparation for it. So how did you now go about preparing? And you also said
correct,
that you wanted to improve on the 98 of your DILR. So then what did you
yes,
do?
yes.
Also, I would like to touch upon whether VARC got affected or quant got affected because you had good scores in them. So did concentrating
Yes.
on DILR impact other subjects?
Yes. So, yeah. So as I said, the IIM Calcutta was my best shot last year, and my IIM Calcutta results came around I think 13th, 14th May, mid-May, and then I was waitlisted. I was waitlisted at 145 for general category, and so the waitlist kept on moving. There were five lists which took over a month to be out. So the waitlist took place till like mid-June, and so I was still waiting because then I had some hopes, but eventually waitlist moved some 102, I believe. So I did not convert IIM Calcutta. So in mid-June, I finally decided to retake CAT, and uh, I sort of took a break actually for 15, 20 days.
Okay.
Like I decided that I'll take a break, I'll gear up myself because that was the time where my internship had also ended and my job also had not started. So I was like completely free. uh, I decided on taking a 2 weeks break and
Okay.
spending some time with my family because even though I was staying at home because of the work and CAT preparation, I was there was a lesser time to engage in activities like anything which involved my family. So I spent some time cooking with my sister or something like that. I engaged in activities with my family for 2 weeks or so, and I decided to start my preparation from the July 1st week. And July 1st week was when I started my CAT preparation again. So this time the biggest advantage I had was that I already knew what CAT is. I already knew how to go about my preparation, and there was not a fear of unknown. So there was not something which would surprise me unless the paper pattern completely changes, which luckily didn't take place. But I was not unaware. So only surprise which came to me was the paper pattern changed from 3 hours to 2 hours. But the type of questions or the number of questions, they were like fairly, like they were just scaled down, nothing surprising. So I was not caught in any unknown. And I already knew how, I already knew that my weakness is VRC. I had already figured out a strategy that I'll leave one reading comprehension. I had already made a mistake in CAT 19 of DILR. I knew that in any case, I cannot let my ego come in place. One another thing, when I started my CAT preparation, so how I started my CAT preparation for 20 was that let me once reattempt the DILR section of CAT 19. That's what I
Okay.
thought. Like, let me at
Uh-huh.
least figure out what mistake I did. And
Mhm.
you won't believe this, but CAT happened in November, and I started my preparation in July. So some 8 9 months later is when I figured out that the set which I was stuck in, I was attempting that set. So normally LR sets have some conditions given, and I was attempting that set with 4 conditions. And once you scroll, there was an additional fifth condition which I had completely missed in my CAT.
Oh,
And
okay.
because of that missing condition, I couldn't crack that set for 20 minutes. So
Uh-huh.
that's when I realized that it is not just the ego which you should avoid, it is also that you ensure that you are reading the complete question correctly.
Yes,
That is
yes, yes.
another important learning which I had when I reattempted my paper. And that was an eye opener for me because I was completely unaware for 9 months. Like for other questions which I had made some silly errors or something, while discussing with my friends or fellow aspirants, I got to know what my mistakes were.
Uh-huh.
But about this mistake, I was completely unaware for 9 months. I was thinking that I there was some mistake in my head or I approached it wrong or something like that. And then once I read the complete question with the fifth constraint, I was fairly able to solve it under 10 minutes. So that is a learning which I took. So yeah, from there I started my preparation. Again, my preparation was fairly related to mocks only. Uh, and this time my job also was starting in July end. So my preparation this time sort of changed. Earlier I used to take 3 mocks per week, as I said. This time my preparation strategy changed because it is really tough to have a work day and then sort of pull in a 3 hour mock test. And
Absolutely.
I was not someone, I'm not a morning person. So I generally, if I was ever to take a mock on a weekday, I used to take it at the night post dinner or something. And by that time you're already mentally very drained.
Yep.
So it was a bit tough. So if ever I wanted to do some preparation on a weekday, I used to do it. I used to do it by solving some quant or something. Generally, the questions which are posted by my friends or anywhere, so they generally used to post doubts. So one biggest learning from my CAT 19 experience, going into CAT 20 experience, was that a study group helps you a lot. So I had this set of around 20 to 25 people. We had a group, and so that was the group which sort of helped me the most in my CAT 20 preparation. Uh, the main important aspect you should consider while having a study group is that there should be only positive competition. There should not be a competition where someone is pulling down on your marks to get
Absolutely.
his score up. That is very important because one thing which aspirants need to understand that your competition is not amongst the 20 people in your group, but the 2 lakh people who are attempting CAT.
Yeah, yeah.
So that is something which is very important. Like getting down a score of one candidate won't really affect your percentile. But if you collectively work together and score better than others, that will definitely boost your percentile, and which we did. So in our group, we had around 20 people, and one of which was a 100 percentiler. Three people scored 99.99, three scored a 99.98, around 10 people scored 99.9 plus. So it was a very fantastic result for our group, and all credits goes to the positively competing attitude of everyone. And the helping nature, because one thing which I realize is that you learn a lot by explaining a question to someone else. Like
Yeah,
for
yeah,
me,
correct.
I was fairly good in quant, but still I'll say it is not that I had no conceptual flaws. I definitely had some conceptual flaws. But then when I, even if I had attempted that question in mock and I took 1 minute while explaining it to someone else, I took 5 minutes. And that sort of improvised on my concepts very much. I think helping others helped me in a way that my concepts also either got like refreshed or they got better. That's what I believe. So that's how we started. That's how I started my mock preparation with my study group in July, and we started taking mocks regularly. So my strategy this time was, again, I had taken time and IMS mock test series. I used to take one mock on Saturday, one mock on Sunday, and whatever analysis I had to do, that used to follow on the weekdays, because on weekdays I didn't put in much of an effort. I was fairly focusing on my newly started job. Uh, and maybe an hour or two if I had to. Once the mock results were out, I used to put in after dinner time. So that is how I started my CAT preparation. The observation in the trend of scores which I had this time was, this time my quant scores were really very good. I like scored very high, almost 99.9 plus, and almost all of my notes in quants. DLR fluctuated again. This was something I had decided to work on. I have scored as high as 99.9 plus in DLR, and also scored a 90th or a 95th percentile in my DLR. So that was a fluctuation in scores which I had. And then I sat and realized like what I was making up, what my mistakes were, why the fluctuation was there. So what I figured out was the fluctuation mainly came and my scores kind of dipped when I had a wrong set selection strategy. So that is a very important part in DLR, because not everyone, or I'll say hardly one or two students, can attempt the entire DLR section paper. Normally, people leave one or two sets. Even the good top scorers also end up leaving some questions in DLR. So it is very important to pick your questions correctly. As I said, there are some sets which are made to give you marks. There are some which are made to pull your time down. So
Absolutely.
we need to figure out what the sets, how the sets need to be selected, and again, letting your ego go comes in handy when you are targeting this, because if you figure out within the first 2-3 minutes that this set is something which will take 15, you have saved those 13 minutes, right? So that is an opportunity cost which you're saving there, and that is very crucial, because figuring out that you cannot solve this after 15 minutes is already a lost game, right? So that is something which I constructively focused upon. And in VRC, as I said, since I had a fairly good strategy in mind, because this was a strategy which was different from others, but it sort of suited me. So this time around, my scores in VRC was slightly better than last year. I was clearing that cutoff score a more often number of times than last year. Uh, I never scored a 99 plus score in VRC. So this is what I would like to tell the engineers. It is okay. Uh, as long as you do good, it is okay. It is not very, like I had some friends who used to fret upon the fact that still, even if they were scoring a 97 or a 98th percentile in VRC, they were unhappy with their scores. So my way of thinking was that I was happy. Definitely there is a scope for improvement, but I was content with my score, because that is something like you need to understand your strengths and weakness. And even if you're scoring a 97 or a 98th percentile in a section of your weakness, that was still a very good score for me.
Yeah,
That's what my mentality was. And a mentality in your preparation plays a huge role. That's what I believe. So I that's what I figured out, that doing good, even if it's not the best in VRC, was fine by me, as long as I maximize on my score on DIL and quant. Because effectively, if you leave some colleges, like FMS has a sectional uh, component as well while calculating your composite score, while all other IMs take your overall score itself normally. So normally your overall percentile is going to matter. So it is okay if you are good enough in one section and very good in others. That is fine. Definitely, you should keep improving and try to improve. but you should not spoil your mentality trying to fret about a weak section, because I had some non-engineer friends who were like very good in VRC. They were decently good in DLR, and for them, quant was a tougher subject because they had not studied quant since 10th standard, and they scored around 95 to 96 percentile. And that's what I suggested them also. Like, is it's okay since your overall, as long as your overall percentile is in check, it is okay if your sectionals are not all 99 plus.
Absolutely,
That's what
absolutely.
that's what that's what my discussions with them were, and even
Yeah.
they scored a very well and have now converted one of the top B schools of India. So yeah, that the mentality part is something which I took care of. And yeah, eventually in CAT 2020, I scored a 97 percentile in VRC, which I was very happy about. I scored a 100 percentile in DILR,
Oh,
which was a big jump for me because that was a section which I constructively thought of improvising on. Quant was a slight dip, but I'm not unhappy about it because my score dipped from 99.98 to 99.82. But again, 99.82 was a very good score, and my overall
yeah.
percentile was very good. So I was
Uh-huh.
truly happy with my CAT performance. But yeah, I was on a personal level, I was very happy with DLR because I decided on working on DLR and I scored a 100 percentile, which was a cherry on the cake. So yeah, so after CAT scores were out, then uh, then I decided how I should go about my interview preparation.
So interrupting
And
you
again,
here, Mihir. So
yeah,
now you've given CAT, you've scored well. But I believe now is when the competition actually begins because earlier 2 lakh you're competing, like you said, with 2 lakh people. But now you would
correct,
be competing with 2,000 or probably even
correct,
lesser. So
correct,
now how did you prepare? I mean, how did you go about
correct,
your preparation?
correct. So here two things. Now, one thing which I had taken a note of from last year was interview preparation was very important. And so again, even if I didn't convert my interviews, I had a fair bit of understanding of what is asked in an interview, how the setting is. And we were it was fairly obvious by that time, like this January, that the interviews will be taking place online itself. Like we won't be having physical interviews because of the COVID situation. So interviews will be from home, online, and things like that. So I was lucky in a sense, like I tried to look some positive into it, that I had an idea because I had given Calcutta and Lucknow interview online last year. So maybe for some people it was a first time on online experience. I had an idea of how things take place, so that was a learning for me. And yeah, for interview preparation, two there were two sources of preparation for me. One, I again had joined PrepZone for my interview preparation, and I was in touch with Shubham sir fairly often. And another important source of preparation, as I said, was my study group. So even though I was preparing with the material provided by PrepZone and all, in my study group, a lot of people of which were also enrolled with PrepZone, but some weren't. And what we did was we took each other's interviews.
Okay.
Like starting from the initial days itself, we got on Zoom calls, and like we even when we didn't have an answer prepared for why MBA or tell me about yourself, which are the two very commonly asked questions in interviews. Even if we didn't have an answer prepared, we still got on a call and we asked each other those questions. And so in interview, what I figured out that more than preparing your answer, your style of articulating it in words matters a lot. So what I understood that it is not only important to prepare your answer as in jot down the points which you want to speak about, but also practice talking it to someone, like
Yeah.
talking it to someone on call, because there will be a panel in front of your screen. There will be some hand gestures which you have to take in mind. There is some body posture which you have to figure out, and that is something which will improvise with practice. And there we used to point out the mistakes of our friends. We used to say that you're looking at the ceiling a lot, you're looking outside of the camera a lot, or you're so these were things which matter in the interview setting, especially
Absolutely.
you're
Yeah.
online, because there will be many students who don't take care of this. But if
Yes.
you take care of that, you will definitely stand out and you might get that convert, right? And after all, even if you don't convert tens of colleges, it's only one convert of your dream school which matters.
Matters. Yeah. True.
So So that's what we figured out, and we helped each other in that way as to how your eye contact should be, how you should greet in the beginning. So basically, all the soft skills aspect of an interview, we tried to brush each other up on that way. And of course, this time, my preparation was definitely better than last year because I knew my interview dates, I knew what my timeline should be. uh, I focused a lot on my personal questions because so again in interviews there are different strategies which people can look into. Someone might be really good at current affairs and general knowledge. Someone might have done a lot of extracurriculars in their life. Someone might be a state level or a national level sports player, or someone might have an arts page and someone might be an artist. I mean, or someone might be just someone who has like studied well and has good academics and has some projects and internships on hand. So everyone comes from a different background, and you need to figure out which points in your story connect well and which points are good enough talking points in an interview. So generally, how the interview takes place is that generally the first question is one of the two. It might not be a case. Like for me, I had all IIM calls this time, but I was asked this question only in one or two interviews. In most of my interviews, I was not asked these questions. But for most of the students, these are questions which are asked. This is a sort of a way of the panelist for an icebreaker and also to know you outside of the form which you have submitted.
Yeah, yeah.
So in like apart like I don't think you should have a Ratawa answer for this, but you should have points which make coherence and which fit well in your story as to why you're doing what you're doing. Because there is definitely some opportunity because some students are leaving their jobs, some students are wasting their time. I'll not say wasting, but yeah, like spending their time doing an MBA for 2 years. So there should be some valid reason, right? Why you're
Yeah.
like giving 2 years of your life to this, also paying these huge amount of fees. So it should make sense to your story. So I think first part of an interview preparation is introspecting. It's okay if you even take a week for this, but introspect, note down your points, and figure out why you're doing what you're doing. That is very important, I believe, because the interview panelists have taken thousands of interviews and
Yeah.
all of the candidates are similar for them. So they sort of can figure out in a fraction of a second if a person is lying or if he's genuinely interested in doing an MBA. So that is something which is very important. So having a story in mind is very important, and which I had. And then generally the questions asked in the interview are something which they pick from your previous answer. So if your first answer is something which you are fairly comfortable about, then the panelists will pick something from that and continue, and the interview continues. There is a structure which every IIM follows, but generally they fit it in a flow as to there is a flow also to the interview. It is generally taken from your first answer. They might ask you on your internships, they might ask you on your hobbies, they might ask you on your projects or academics which you have done in your college. So there is a flow to it. So if you have the first answer in mind, and if you prepare about the points which I've mentioned in that answer, I think you're fairly prepared for an interview. And apart from that, there is a current affairs preparation for which it is important to stay updated with the current affairs part. So personally, I'm not a person who reads a newspaper every day. But what I constructively try to do is that even if I didn't follow a reading habit, I followed a listening habit. So I used to, there are many channels on YouTube which provide a daily summary of the Hindu or another Economic Times or something like that,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
are like
yeah.
15 to 20 minutes long. So what I used to do is that I used to listen to those videos. So at least I know I'm updated with the current affairs. I knew what farm laws were. So my majority interview in my like 20% of my interview in my Ahmedabad for IIM Ahmedabad was based on farm laws and discussions on how this policy is a good thing or a bad thing, what improvements can be done for improvising the quality of the laws or something like that. Those sort of fairly focused on the policy part of it, and which I could answer very well because I had been listening to this news for a while. So that is something which people should at least do if they are not reading a newspaper. Because for a lot of people who are working, it is difficult for them to make time on some days for catching up on news and all. So at least if you're traveling somewhere, at least listen to news. That is very important. And I also used to follow some news based on. I was fairly interested in technology and startups, so I used to follow some news articles online on these topics. So these gave me some good talking points in my interviews. And from of all my calls this year, I did not convert PGPA from PGP from IIM Bangalore, and I am waitlisted in IIM Lucknow. But I converted all other IIMs like IIM Ahmedabad, Calcutta, Indore, IIM Ahmedabad, Calcutta, Kozhikode, Shillong. I converted these colleges, and I also converted PGP BA at IIM Bangalore. And yeah, finally decided to accept the offer from IIM Ahmedabad, and I'll be joining the class of 2020.
Okay. So great, Mihir. That was very helpful. And from what I understand, having the right mindset, having the right preparation strategy is very important. And then the peer group, which comes into picture, which helps you and helps your peer group as well, because you discuss a lot of concepts, discuss a lot of answers, and you explain things to people, which helps you to reinforce your concepts. So that is important. And yeah, understanding your mistakes, that's very important, because like you found out from previous
Definitely.
year's CAT that you were missing a relevant point in the question itself. So it was, nobody could teach you that. It was something that you have to
So
retrospect on your
for
own.
someone correct. So for someone who is taking CAT for the first time also, he can, even if he doesn't have a past CAT experience, if it takes a good amount of mock tests,
Yeah,
he can
yeah.
figure this out.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
mock tests become a very crucial part of your preparation.
Mock test and analysis of mocks. So to understand what
Definitely.
you're doing and what you're not doing
Definitely.
correctly, it's very important. And managing your time. So this is what MBA is all about. But you were able to manage your time, like you did dedicated weekends to mocks, and analysis of mocks happened during the weekdays. So that's very important. And for GDPI, it's all about being aware about your surroundings and being aware about yourself. So
Yourself. Yeah.
that was important. And I believe Prep Zone helped you in the journey, and we are happy that you converted your dream college and you'll be joining soon. So all the best, Mihir, and thank you for your time.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for your patience today, and hope to stay in touch. And if anything needed, we'll direct our student towards you. So do help them out.
Sure.
Sure. Okay.
Sure,
Thank you,
sir.
Mihir.
Anytime. Thank you so much and good luck to all the aspirants. Thank you.
Thank you.